In today's video, I will be covering a game played on chess.com by Julian Peinado. He is one of my students, and he is playing against I'm a Regu Bro. So, beginning d4, d5, knight f3, knight c6, and just developing the pieces. This is very standard. However, if you're playing d4, typically, knight f3 is a good move after d4, but usually there's plans for c4, maybe g3, maybe developing bishops, but this is good as well. Both sides are playing passively throughout this game, and that's good for beginners. Don't want to play too aggressive and maybe lose some pieces. First mistake of the game, I'd say, is knight b4. Knight b4 really has no purpose right now, because obviously the knight wants to go to c2 and make a fork, right? But this is just not possible right now, as there's a bishop on b3, right? And knight b4 is just a mistake at this point, because something like a3 could just kick the knight out and force it back. So knight b4 could be a future plan or maybe possibility, but it just does not work right now. Okay, moving on. a5, of course. White is just developing pieces like normal, right? That's fine. Black is trying to execute his plan, right? By moving, if he moves a4, he would be able to kick out the bishop and take on c2. But black here missed a key thing, right? So previously black played b5 because, to prevent the pin, also to, so first of all, it was to prevent the pin, but it was also supported by the a6 pawn. But by moving a5, this b5 pawn has no support anymore. So black just gotta watch out in the future if maybe white can take on b5 later. Okay, so a3 kicking out the knight, a4 contesting the bishop. Black still wants the bishop to move out of b3 so you can take this c2 pawn. And you can obviously see black is really dedicated to getting his fork or getting his plan executed. And yeah, this is another mistake. Bishop a2. So bishop a2 just allows black to take on c2, right? Like you gotta think before you move, before or after every single move, right? By the opponent, by yourself, think, why did he make this move? There's a purpose behind every single move, right? And this is the case between black's plans, right? Black's whole plan was just to take on c2, and white does not see that plan, and instead it just allows black to take on c2 and win the exchange. So move takes c6, solidifying the position. Okay, knight e5, attacking the c6 pawn. Bishop d6. Bishop d6 is a good developing move, but remember, you gotta remember to see the point of every single move, right? You can see this pawn is hanging, and that's what white does. Takes the pawn. Okay, queen c7 makes another good move, and that moves back to b4. Takes, and now black is a lot better in this position. White got a horrible bishop doing nothing, facing just a stone wall. White can't castle. White's queen is on a1, and white got double pawns. Yeah, I'd say black is a lot better. Just gotta develop your pieces, get some outposts, and black could easily win this game. Okay, good. Develop pieces. Yeah. And yeah, this is not the best move, I'd say. This just loses a piece. If black found this would be a good move, and black could just win the exchange this way and just take this. But it's fine. Black moves queen b6 instead. White moves c3 back. And in this position, I'd still suggest bishop d3 actually, because this forces the white king to just make a move while the bishop is on d3, and controls a lot of key squares and diagonals. But castles is also good. Okay, f3. Purpose of f3 is to move the king away, so it allows the rook to be introduced to the game. which is good. Developing the rooks. Okay, g4, bishop d3. Okay, bishop d3 now, and g5, knight d7. And in this position, white obviously has zero attack at all. This queen is stuck on the first rank, stuck in the corner, nowhere to move. Both of the bishops aren't really doing anything. There's a couple hanging pawns here as well, and this rook is out of the game as well. So what you want to do here as white is, well, I'd say just push your pawns. The engine says this is not the best, but the engine also says that black is clearly better. So in this position, there's just the only hope for white is actually just to push the pawns and maybe formulate some type of attack that way. Okay, takes queen b5, knight c3, takes. Yeah, white is forcefully losing a couple pawns right now. And another conflict move, right? Knight e4. The purpose of knight e4, obviously, if he takes his free knight, then white retaliates and takes the queen. But white here missed a good move that black found, which is rook c2, and this basically just pins the bishop to the king, right? And also attacks the knight. So now there's two attacks. You could take this bishop later or take this knight later. King moves to e1. Now, there's an attack on the queen, so you have to move the queen away. But but you could just take this, and black would still be so much better. But black played takes on e4, which is a horrendous move, because this allows white to just take the free queen, as we said before, right? And black is, well, if you're still a beginner, black is just gone here. But the engine says that there's still hope to be saved. You could take on f3 and maybe do some attack this way. Push on f2 or rook f2 later. Maybe some possible ideas, but I'm gonna not dive into that today. It takes, just taking some pawns. Rook f1. Okay, in this position, it kind of looks like black kind of gave up, as obviously there's a free knight on d7, and black moves rook f1. This trades the two rooks, right? You don't want to trade when you're down. You want to keep your pieces when you're down so you can have some sort of attack. The more pieces you trade, the less of an attack you'll have. But black trades and loses another knight. And then black plays bishop h3, and then queen takes h8. e8 is mate. So yeah, that's the game. But overall, the opening was played decent. The first bad move was knight b4, and the middle game blundered knight takes c2. So just overall, just when you're playing, you want to remember, right? You want to change your mindset. You have to think why the opponent made this move. Every move has a purpose, so you have to think, what does this move accomplish, right? And then you also have to think outside of the box. What move would throw off my opponent, or what move would help create an attack, right? Because most of this game, something I noticed was that neither side really had an attack. The only true clear attack that you could see was black's attack at the beginning, which he followed through successfully, right? And then neither side really had an attack until black blundered that one piece. So I'd say my student Julian, who played white here, should not have won this game. And it was actually really lucky that his opponent, I'm a rookie bro, blundered his queen in the end. So that covers this first beginner's analysis. If you guys want your games to be reviewed as well, click the link below and fill out that Google form.